Okay guys, I am making supper and I am making what I call poor man's potato soup. There's no cheese in it, there's no bacon, nothing fancy. It's just potatoes and a delicious soupiness. I don't really use a recipe because I've been making this for so long. So let me tell you how I figure it. I figure 1 potato per person that's eating plus 2 more. Or 3 more, depending on how far I want this to go. I'm just going to peel them, rinse them, chop them into cubes. I have my potatoes cubed, and what I'm gonna do in this pot is my homemade chicken broth. I'm gonna pour it over this, and then I'm gonna add just a little bit of water. I'm adding the chicken broth because it's full of flavor, full of nutrition. I'm also going to season it with salt and pepper. Okay, so you guys see how that kind of looks thick? That's because of all of the collagen from the bones when I made the broth. See how it's really thick? Kind of looks like Jello. That's good stuff right there. Lots of nutrition, lots of flavor, and lots of splatter on my face. Of course, that will thin out as it cooks. As it warms up, I'm also going to add a little bit of water, just enough to cover. All right, that's going to be good soup. I'm going to get on the heat. We're going to turn this up to high. I'm using this Vital Mineral Blend Celtic Sea Salt. I did not buy this. This was a gift. Otherwise, I would not have it in my possession. But I have it, so I'm going to use it. But you can certainly use whatever salt you got. Okay, all right, so again, this is poor man's potato soup, which means we don't have any cream cheese or anything fancy that's going in this. I've turned it up to high. I'm gonna cover it and we're gonna let it come to a boil. It needs to boil for at least 10 minutes for it to become tender. Then I'm gonna check the thickness of the soup. My family likes a thick soup. So if it's not thick enough, I'm gonna make a slurry with flour and milk, which I'll show you. I am gonna hit it with a little bit of milk and butter when it gets finished. But the main thing, I think, in my opinion, is if you want this to be a real comfort meal, you need to either have yummy, soft, hot, buttered yeast rolls, or what I've got going on in the oven right now, which is cornbread. And it's in, of course, being a Southerner, you have to make it in a cast iron skillet. So that's what we've got going on right now. When we come back, I will show you what it looks like toward the end and see if I need to thicken it up. Okay, one more thing I wanted to mention. Now, I am making this with homemade chicken broth because I have it on hand. If you don't have it, that's okay. I've made this with just water before. Just try to flavor your water if you have onions, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, just whatever you have on hand. There's no need to run out to the store unless you don't have potatoes, then you might have a problem. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my potato soup and my cornbread to finish, Michelle asked if I would give a tour of the decorations in my kitchen. And I warned her that it's actually driving me crazy because this room serves 100 different purposes, and so there's so much stuff in here that it's almost suffocating. So while we're waiting, I can do that really quick, but I'm working in my kitchen, so there's dirty dishes and things of that nature. So we're just gonna hang out and I'll show you. We'll start over here, shall we? So this is like, I think you call this a peninsula. It's not really an island because it's still attached to the wall. But anyway, right above it, I have a sign that I made that says tangible. It says Tangibly Delicious Boutique Bakery. I made that because I actually had a little side hustle where I would make homemade desserts and would sell them to friends and family, and I called it Tangibly Delicious Boutique Bakery. And so I just made that, and I like it because it goes with my kitchen. Then the next decorations I have, but you can't see, I keep my cast iron in my oven, and that, since I'm baking, I had to pull them out, so that's why they're all stacked over here. But over here, I just have, it's a Coca-Cola tray, And I've got my 2 canisters in here. We actually got this at the Coca-Cola store in Operating Mills Mall several years ago. These my mom got me for my birthday a few years ago from Kohl's.com. They're Food Network canisters, and they go great with my kitchen decor. This is a mason jar, and it's got like a little candle in there. Someone actually gave this to me for my birthday a couple of years ago. It was a very sweet gift, and they bought it from a local store, so I don't know if you could find that online or not. This jar was actually a friend of mine's mother who passed away, and you can see that it's an old zinc lid, Atlas. Anyway, I really love it. I think it's cool. Let me check. See, we're starting to boil here. And I'd say that cornbread's done. Let me get this out of the oven real quick. I didn't share my recipe for the cornbread. Okay. All right, there's the cornbread. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna open the oven so it can release the heat into the kitchen.
Release the heat.
All right, let me check on this. It's boiling. Turn it down just a little bit. I'm gonna turn it down to medium. Okay, I guess you can just follow me. You just follow me and I'll finish showing you my decorations. Okay, so this big W, of course that's the first initial of our last name. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and it was on sale for $12.50. So I was really, really happy with that. It looks really great with my kitchen color. And some of you have asked about my kitchen color. This is Olympic paint from Lowe's, and the color is called Aqua Bay, I think. But yeah, my husband actually picked this color. I was between this color and another color that was kind of like a grayish sage green, and I couldn't decide between the two. And he's like, no, I like the blue, it's more colorful. And he nailed it. Like, this is the perfect color, I love it. Okay, so this says, I love you like biscuits and gravy. And again, that was a gift from my mom, and she got that from Kohl's.com. Okay, here's my jelly cabinet. My husband got me this as a birthday present a few years ago to keep my canned stuff in. And it was a friend of ours' mom had passed away, and they sold it. So I'm very privileged to own it. I actually made this tea towel. I eat local because I can. I sell these in my Etsy store, which is empty right now. This enamel tub I got from the same place I got this. Okay, Michelle, you were really interested in this. This is my mason jar sign that says Faith, Hope, and Love. And again, that was also from Kohl's.com. This fresh produce sign, I actually made this. We had this lumber out in the garage. It was kind of like a natural wood color, and I took some white paint and watered it down and then rubbed it into the grain. And I found this template on Pinterest actually, and I printed it because it was free. And then I just took a pen and I drew over it, traced it, and like kind of pressed hard so it would indent the wood. And then I just went over this with, it's black permanent magic marker. And then I used just some green paint and a black permanent magic marker to fill that in. So that's that. Then over here, over the office, a friend of mine made this for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. This wooden letter we got from Hobby Lobby, and it was 50% off. I don't remember how much I paid. I think it was around $5. This Keep It Simple thing, that's a free printable I found on Pinterest. And it looked really good with my colors, and so I liked it for my office area. I painted this old frame black, and then on the inside I painted it kind of an aqua green. This, I made this as well. This is just some sheet metal that's behind this fabric. The fabric I already had on hand. Again, it matches all my colors. I painted the frame this black color, and then the magnets. They're just drawer pulls with heavy-duty magnet attached to it, which we actually repurposed this from something that we got from a yard sale, or my in-laws got from a yard sale. So that's all the decor in the kitchen. So I hope you enjoyed it. So I just checked the potatoes and they're done. So let me show you. You just want them tender. So as you can see that, but as you can see, the soup is still really soupy, and like I said, we like it thick and creamy. So here's how we're going to thicken this poor man's potato soup. In a mug over here, I'm just gonna take a couple of spoonfuls. That's probably about 2 heaping tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You can use self-rising if you need to, that's not a big deal. And then I'm gonna pour about the same amount of milk in there. And I'm just gonna stir it around. This is gonna go right into the soup and it's gonna thicken it up. Another thing you can do, there's a name for it and it's French, so I can't pronounce. There's a French technique used to thicken soups by taking equal parts of room temperature butter and all-purpose flour and mashing them together to make a paste. And then you add it to your liquid, and as it heats, it thickens and without lumps. So that's another great way to thicken it. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit. But you can start to see it's already starting to thicken. And it's possible I may need to add more, but since I'm not using a recipe, I eyeball it. So we're gonna give that a couple of seconds to start, well, it's starting to boil now. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the French method. That's about a tablespoon of butter, and then I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of flour, and I'm gonna mash it together like this. It's fine because I was gonna add butter at the end anyway, so this will kind of help me get back on top of the thickness we want. Okay, all right, then you just take your paste, drop it down in there. We're gonna whisk it. Okay. And then as it cooks, it will thicken up. Hopefully, as thick as my husband likes it. Okay guys, this is done. Now, again, this is poor man's potato soup, which means it's not gonna be white and creamy. Kind of think Great Depression style soup, okay? But this is a little bit richer because I was able to use homemade chicken broth. But this is pretty much it. So I tasted it. It does not need a single thing. You can still really taste the flavor of the thick, rich chicken broth that I made. It's really excellent. I think if I were sick, this is exactly probably what I would crave. So we've got cornbread, we've got poor man's potato soup. We're ready to eat. All right, folks, I'm gonna show you how to plate this poor man's potato soup up. So first thing you need is cornbread, corn pone also known as. All right, so you're gonna crumble your cornbread down there at the bottom. Oh. And no, Trish, I have no idea how many smart points this is. Then you're gonna spoon your soup over the cornbread. You want plenty of juice. Okay. Now, that right there is just fine. But since I have a little bit of sour cream, I'm gonna put it on there, but it is absolutely not necessary because it is just fine, just like this. Then, you know, because why not? A little bit of raw onion. Normally gives me heartburn, but I'm gonna chance it. Okay? That's it. Poor man's potato soup. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all how to do something. Take an onion.
I ate an onion.
Peel the layer. Reject the dog. Then you're gonna scoop up your potato and cornbread.
Who doesn't do that?
That's how we roll. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you one more thing before I call it a night. Here I have a mason jar. Here is some leftover cornbread. You take the cornbread, and I'm doing just a little bit because I don't want much. Crumble it up in the mason jar. Okay, and then take some milk and you pour it over that cornbread. Now, If I wasn't trying to lose weight, this would be filled up. But this right here is just plenty to be satisfactory. If you don't give the poor man's potato soup a try, I certainly hope that you try cornbread and milk. It is the best. You eat it with a spoon. You don't drink it like this because you'll choke. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna go prop my feet up on my couch and finish watching Medea's Christmas movie. All right, you guys have a great night, and until next time. Hey, thanks for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to share it with your friends, pin it on Pinterest, you know, whatever. But yeah, and there's also a subscribe button down there. So if you haven't clicked it already, be sure to do that. That way you don't miss any of the videos that I put out. We talk about gardening here, frugal living, homemaking, homeschooling. You know, I cook the occasional food, make the occasional craft. So if you don't want to miss any of it, be sure to click subscribe. Okay, that's it.